March the 7th, it's the Jameson Cleveland St. Patrick's Day 5K run right downtown in the Warehouse District. The run starts at 5 p.m. I'm running. Mary's running.
I'm starting my training tomorrow.
Doogie's running. And then we do a little bar crawling afterwards, as is our tradition for St. Paddy's Day. Not on St. Paddy's Day this year. That will be primary voting day, though, on the 17th of March. But March 7th downtown is when the 5K run will happen. And then we hang out with the RMG crew and we do a little bar crawling. So we'll go to Ivy, we'll go to Dive Bar, Velvet Dog, Barley House. It'll be a nighttime thing as opposed to when it's a daytimer in other years. But all the information for you, if you want to register to run along with everyone else, you can go to alancoxshow.com, hit the contest tab. And tomorrow and Friday, if you want to run but don't want to pay the registration fee, I'll have a couple more spots just to get you into that. Brought to you by Coors Light, Hermes Cleveland, and the West 6th Street District.
Are you doing any training or are you just winging it? 3 miles is not short.
It's not long either.
You did it like less than 30 minutes last year without
Did you
training.
really?
Yeah, about
He's a
26
runner.
minutes.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It's not, you'll do it too. It's not that long.
I'm not a very good runner. I never have been. Cardio's never been my thing,
Well-
especially outside. Running outside is really difficult.
I mean,
for
I
me.
don't do it for time. Some people do it in like 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't do it for time, and you don't have to either. But
I'm going to kind of, because I don't ever run and I haven't worked out in about 2 full months. So I'm going to get a little back on the treadmill starting tomorrow, build up a little bit every day.
Well, Douchey does it too, but I always see her
Yeah, we
around the
walked
bend.
last
I
year.
feel like she walks.
Like, I
so
wanna
maybe you can
run.
walk
We ran
her.
a little bit, but like we
I
did
wanna
about
run.
40 minutes. Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, just, do it. And
26, that's really crazy. Like, that's great.
I don't think it is.
To keep up an 8-minute mile pace for, 8.5-minute mile pace for 3 miles, never running, I think that's pretty good.
Who never run? I run, yeah.
Do you run?
I don't run like 10 miles a day, but I do regular stuff, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, all that chasing a toddler around.
Chasing the toddler around. No, but like Douchey, we were talking and she goes, I got to start training. I'm like, you do?
I did that 1 mile Cupid's Undie run in
Yeah, you just did one.
9 minutes. So
There
that
you go.
wasn't, but I don't know. I don't think I could do that for 3 straight
1
miles.
mile.
Like that.
God, you can see the finish line from where the starting
It's a
line.
loop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you couldn't. But
Yeah, you could.
You look
It's
right
a loop.
behind you.
yeah.
You're standing on it.
Yeah.
That's also true. I
You
guess.
look right behind you, and that's where you're going to end.
But that was one that I didn't do anything for. I'm like, I can run a mile. I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And I did, and I was like,
In your underwear.
like I felt like I was gonna die
But you
afterwards.
did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get back on the treadmill a little bit this week.
But there's a lot of people that do the St. Paddy's 5K who they're not runners,
Yeah.
but they do it because it's fun to do. It's for a good cause.
40
You know.
minutes was my I wanted to do it in less than 40 minutes. That
Yeah.
was my goal.
And then at the end, we're ready to drink, boy.
I'm ready.
I'll eat
I'm
the
gonna show
edible
up ready to
before.
drink. I don't need to run to show up
Yeah,
ready to
Bill
drink.
says
That's
But
what
you ran
make
last
it.
year.
Yeah,
Didn't you and I run last year?
Yeah, and you kept saying it's fun, but it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I'm not going to run this year. Some people enjoy it. I am not a person
I understand.
that enjoys those things. That's
don't
I
have
like
to
the
camaraderie.
drinking part.
Yeah.
But the running with other people, it just
Okay. I feel like I've earned the drinking if I do the thing. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I will say, when it's in the morning and then we drink all day for St. Pat's, that's fun. The nighttime thing, it'll be fun too. It's just going to be kind of an odd, it'll feel different, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Alan, how's it going?
What's going on, dude?
Not too much, man. Love the show.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, just wanted to chime in on Mary and Poundcake about the ACT and OGT.
Yep.
So pretty much like when I was in high school, which was 2009, pretty much like I took the test by myself with other people because I usually like to take tests when I'm alone. It makes my mind feel a lot better.
So again, I know you guys were talking about it for a while, but I'm utterly ignorant to it. What is the Ohio
Graduation test.
Graduation test. So
It was
you
a-
have to take a test to graduate from high school.
You
get it
took it in
sophomore year.
10th grade, and you had until senior year, the end of senior year, to
Pass
pass
them
it.
all. There's like 5 tests, right?
Is that the same as the
No.
PSAT?
There's
No. Yeah, I mean, but it was, you took them all at once.
I know, but if you pass,
Each
every
subject.
subject, except for one, you can take that one test until you graduate. Or
So
Okay.
they only did it for a couple years, like maybe a 6 or 7 year span where
Oh,
you
they
had
don't
to,
still do it?
No, where you had to take this test to
Were
graduate.
there too many kids flunking it?
I think so.
It's
I'm
just
not even
they
kidding.
just do another test. They just call it something else.
PSAT probably.
Maybe. But so the OGT was for a couple years. You started taking this test in 10th grade. You had 2 years to pass the subjects. And if you did not pass this, you were not allowed to get your diploma. You
Okay.
could not graduate.
Go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
So, no, just like what Mary and Poundcake said, that is definitely true. Now, I only had to take the math part and the science part twice. As soon as I took those, I was good to go. But, like, the thing was, like, when people, usually some people don't feel comfortable taking a test all around the room, like Poundcake said, because you get that anxiety, you get that feeling like, oh, I don't want to do it. But
And people
I
get
did
done
mine in
before
a
you.
separate classroom because it made you feel better. So, like, people would say, oh, where are you at? And it's just better concentration. It's not because I had a learning disability. It was more
So even while they were doing this, even if you weren't going to go to college, you had to take that to get out of
To
high
graduate.
school?
You cannot
You
graduate.
cannot graduate without taking
Absolutely.
a test.
It doesn't matter if you had a 4.0 GPA. If you failed the OGT, you did not
And
graduate.
that's a lot of pressure.
Well, that must be why they did it in. There's no way that if you had a 4.0, they wouldn't let you graduate high school.
there's
I
no-
mean,
But
There's
if
no
you
reason
failed
why
that
you
test,
shouldn't.
then you
You didn't meet
that
the
was what it
requirements.
was.
There's,
Yeah.
there's no reason why you shouldn't pass if you have a 4.0.
well, I thought people were bad at taking tests.
I'm agreeing, but like I'm saying that if you have a 4.0, chances are you probably are a good test taker. There are people that don't, and I guess that's too bad according to the system. I had ADD. I didn't like to think of it as a disability, and I didn't believe that I actually had it. So I never really used it up until I started taking tests because I'm like, oh, this is what they're talking about. I can't concentrate. No.
He's like, I didn't use it until I had a use for it. And then I used it all the time.
Because I'm like, I had no problem. I could take my work home with me. I could do my homework at home. I don't have any distractions. I can read on my own. That's fine. I have no distractions. But then when I'm doing a test and I have, 30, 60 kids around me and they're getting it before me and they're turning their test in, I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not as fast as them? And then I just have anxiety build up. So then I'm like, listen, I have ADD. I never took pills for it. I don't know what accommodations I can get.
Maybe you
but
need them now.
Maybe I do.
Yeah.
But I don't have any health insurance, so too bad.
They can't be that expensive, can they?
Yes.
You're not on
They're
your
very expensive.
you're not on
Yes.
your mom's health insurance?
He's too old.
I'm 27.
Oh, right. Yeah, but you weren't taking them before, were you?
No, but I took it for granted then, and I didn't think I had anything. You
Huh.
don't think you don't like to think you have a problem or like a disability or like you're stupid.
You don't want to be different.
because even when I was taking
Thought everybody wanted to be different now.
not like
when
that.
it comes to school.
You don't want to take you don't want to take your test in a special class. Everyone's looking at you like,
Man,
where's
the
your
amount of care that you guys had is
in
just
high school? I did
blowing my
care.
mind.
I did
Bill's
care.
like, I just wanted to get out. I don't
just
care.
wanted-
Thank you,
it's
Michael.
As equally
Thank you. Yeah, bro.
as
Have a
your
good
mind is blown about us caring, is I can't even begin to fathom
How you don't
not
care.
not wanting to perform well at something. Like you want to talk about pride? I took so much pride
like-
in everything I did that I was like, I'm not going to be embarrassed by
So
bad grades.
everything?
Everything.
I wasn't embarrassed by bad grades because I knew that they weren't
didn't
reflective
define
of
you.
how smart I was. They just meant that I was trying to check all the boxes that the teachers were telling me to check. It didn't make any sense to me to jump through these hoops for these people that
not
I didn't
about a
care about.
hoop. This is what I don't- go ahead.
Here's my question, and I ask this genuinely of you, Bill, because I think you are a smart guy.
Yes.
When you are a kid, and people go, "I just want to get out of school," I felt whatever you just said, right?
Yeah.
When you're in school, every metric you have to determine how allegedly smart you are is academic. It is scholastic.
Yeah.
So how were you like, I suck at school and I hate it, but I know I'm smart?
No, I
Like, how do you
I didn't
know-
think I knew I could be good at school if I applied myself. Because there was times when I applied myself and I did
So you were
really well.
lazy.
yes.
It's not even lazy. It
Well,
was,
no, you didn't.
I
You're
was
saying
indifferent
you didn't want. Well, it's shades of different.
Yeah.
You're saying you didn't want to apply yourself.
because I didn't see anything worth applying myself
You
towards.
didn't. You didn't see any.
school.
You didn't see any benefit to school, to
Right.
learning things.
I didn't mind learning things. I didn't care about the busy work, which was the homework.
Because I always feel like
and then
people
the
who say
tests and everything like that, like they just
when people
it's
say
like it
I
didn't
wasn't
matter.
interested in learning, like I understand what they mean, but I always think like you're kind of kicking a can down the road. Because when you get to be an adult, you, especially if you're in a creative field, I mean,
I like learning. I just didn't like the way that I was being taught.
Yeah. So were
Like-
you teaching yourself things along the way then?
I mean,
In
I would
school? Were you reading things that weren't assigned to you?
I would read things that weren't assigned to me. I would gather knowledge, but it wasn't necessarily what they were trying to teach me.
I see.
And then I would absorb stuff in class because there's a lot of stuff that was just like when they would lecture, I would pick everything up.
I just like school. I always liked school.
If people talk, I listen and I can absorb it. So I could like get through tests and stuff like that just by what I was hearing.
Man.
I don't know why, but when you talk about how much you just put school aside and it doesn't matter, it doesn't care, I get a visceral reaction that makes me really mad.
Hates it.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah,
like
you're
I
not the only one. My
it.
parents would also get upset.
But we're both grown adults, and I didn't know you then. But when I hear you talk about it, it honestly pisses me off.
You're saying you would have hated him in school?
Not even that. I hate it now.
Oh.
Like I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I don't understand how somebody could be so indifferent to. I don't even know if it's not necessarily your future, but like you have to do this. You have to go to school. So you put up such a protest.
And that's what I didn't understand.
It ended up in only making your life more complicated to be that stubborn.
It didn't.
No, I'm saying like.
It put me in a place where I got to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I found, and first of all, like I knew that I had to go on this mission for 2 years. So I didn't care about anything because I'm like, well, I got to do that for 2 years. So trying to go to college or trying to do anything, I'm going to be behind no matter what.
Were you overtly or covertly trying to stick it to your parents because you knew that mission was dangling in front of you?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think.
And then when I got back, I was enrolled in school. Like I was supposed to go to Akron. I was going to start there in the summer, and I started doing stand-up about a month before I was supposed to start school. And once I started stand-up, I'm like, this is it. This is all I'm doing.
I did. Well, I mean, I did the same thing. I started stand-up, and I withdrew from my classes a month
as soon
later.
as I found that, I was just like, I found my thing, and I went full on for that and never looked back.
But I guess what I'm
still
saying
would have
is
never,
that...
like I started stand-up my sophomore year, and it would have never occurred to me to quit college to do stand-up. I just went to class in the daytime and did stand-up at night.
I never had I had never started college.
No, but Mary quit school.
I quit school.
Yeah.
It would have never occurred to me to do that.
Yeah.
You had a question.
My question was, when I say it makes your life harder, it seemed like you were purposefully making your childhood more stressful by rebelling against your parents and not paying attention in school, and I'm assuming getting yelled at for not having your homework done and not doing tests. Like you're putting all that on yourself.
There's all these other things that are going on.
To be stubborn.
But
it carved him into who he is today.
It didn't really make that much of a difference in my life because my parents. I was one of 5 kids. There's all these other things going on. I was kind of overlooked in a way, and like they'd be like, "Hey, are you going to graduate? Are you going to graduate?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I think so." And eventually, I did. It's because my mom did a correspondence course that I was supposed to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but got you a pen pal.
But like,
how does that not stress you out?
It was kind of a cry for help to them to be like, "Hey, whatever you guys are trying to push on me, it's not working. It's not what I want."
You just got them to throw their hands up. Did you get that? You figure if I push hard enough, they'll just throw their hands up and go whatever.
Well, because I also didn't know what I wanted.
Right.
Like I just knew that I didn't want what they wanted.
14 years old.
No, I'm talking about like 18 years old. But
he
like
looked 14, clean shaven.
14 through 18, like all through like middle school and high school. I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew that like being a class clown was the best part of my day. So when I would make people laugh at school, that's the only thing I liked about being at school. But then as I got into more trouble and that became more difficult, I do that less and just try and leave more and try not be there. Because I didn't connect with any teachers. I didn't really, like I had friends, but like
it seems like
they weren't anybody like they'd all like the more they were driven to a certain thing, the more I'd fall away from them because they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to college. I'm like, it's not really for me.
It seems to me like you were going out of your way to like be against all of these things. Like, so that's what I can't. Well,
He's a rebel, Dottie.
For what?
Well, listen.
What did you accomplish by doing that?
I would rather hear that than somebody who goes to college because they think they're supposed to, and they piss away the money. And I don't know what I want to do.
That's exactly what would have happened if I had gone to college. I wouldn't have gone to the college that I wanted to go to. I would have gone to the college that my parents would have gone.
Like, why take up a space for someone else who might want to go to college if you're going to dick around?
So was it
I
because
wouldn't have studied what I wanted to study. I would have done things that my parents thought were a good thing for me to do.
So this all stemmed from being forced to be Mormon?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to understand because it's like...
But I didn't know how to actually talk to them about
I get that.
And I didn't even quite know that that's where it was coming from.
Right.
I just
retroactively.
Yeah, I just felt like I was trapped in this box and I didn't know how to get out of it. So doing as little as possible, like the whole Boy Scout thing. Like, I had to get my Eagle Scout because I wanted to get my driver's license. So I was one of the best scouts until I got my license, and then I never went again.
Yeah.
It's like, stop asking me to do knots.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any more knots.
I got my Eagle Scout. I was the fastest in my family to get it. I had all my merit badges like ready to go, like 16 years old. I had that stuff all done. I didn't want to do it, and I asked my parents. I had like meltdowns about it, about how I didn't want anything to do with this. I hated it, but I did it because I wanted my driver's license because I wanted that freedom.
He did what he had to do to get what he wanted, and he cut all the fat away.
I get it. I'm just saying it seemed very excessive.
It never, like, nothing academic ever looked like a vehicle for me to get freedom. It just looked like I was continuing in that same system.
But it also doesn't seem, I don't understand how rebelling and refusing to do work was, maybe that's where you felt free?
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me to do
Right,
this
exactly.
homework.
Exactly.
But then that only makes the next day harder. Because
But it
now you
didn't.
didn't do your homework.
No, it
and
didn't,
now
'cause
you're
you wouldn't do
behind.
anything. Wasn't doing his homework.
Because here's what
I guess
you don't
if you
understand.
never go to it,
Well,
it
yeah,
doesn't
it's
matter.
easy.
Yeah.
And here's what you learn too.
It's not like he let it pile up. He just didn't do it.
When you don't do your homework, they still want you to graduate. So then they start lowering what you need to do to graduate. So they go, okay, we're going to throw all this stuff out. You do this one project, and then you
These schools
can do
just
that.
want
And
to
you'll get a
kids
C
through.
minus so you can get your
and then
diploma.
they go, if you do this one project or you fill out, do these different things, and you go, okay, and then what if I don't do that? And they go, okay, well then you do this correspondence course, and if you do that,
So
then
you
you
were
can graduate.
taking
And I go,
control of what
okay.
you could in your life, and everything else you were not in control of.
Yeah.
So you were saying you're gonna do this my way. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I'm willing to do.
So then when I didn't do the correspondence course and my mom did it, and I still got the diploma, I'm like, well, seems like I got everything you wanted me to get, and it didn't matter to me at all. Like, I didn't care about going to graduation or
What's
walking
the
with
line?
my
D's
class
get
or anything
degrees?
like that.
C's
Yeah.
get degrees.
Yeah.
Well, he says, Punky says D's.
It's C's.
D's get degrees.
don't get you degrees.
D's
A D is a
do-
failing grade.
Mom's get
not-
F
degrees.
is a failing grade.
But
No.
D's, you have to retake courses if you have
In
a
your
D.
major, in your major, if you get a C, you can graduate. If you get a D on like whatever an elective or whatever they call it, something that's not catered to your major, you can graduate. It's not important.
See, I had absolutely no control over my childhood either. My parents were going through divorce.
So that's why you
hoarder house.
felt-
I went the exact opposite way. I was like, you know what I can control? School. And
Yeah.
I'm going to kill it, and I'm going to do very well at it. I'm going to be
See,
top
it
of my
all-
class. But I was top in my class while also being the class clown.
Yet
It
ironically,
felt the same though. Like, it felt like it was all part of one situation. Like, it was all like school, church, all that was tied together, and it was all things I didn't want.
ironically though, you, Mary, were hoarding knowledge.
I was. Look at that.
Hey, Grant.
Hey guys, how's it going? First time
Oh, what's up, Grant?
calling.
Boy,
you
and
know,
a great name for an academic conversation.
Right.
Grant.
Thank you.
Go
sir.
ahead, Grant.
And
All
I do
right.
have more to add to that. And
Yeah.
mega dildos, by the way.
Hey, mega dildos to you too, Grant. Thank you, pal.
Like a mega.
So, I wanted to add on to what Poundcake was saying. I went through school with ADD as well, and I took the OGTs and the ACTs and all that stuff, and I actually got a 16 on the ACTs, right? Well, I went on to do much more than that. So, like, taking regular tests was always hard for me, too. Like, I couldn't focus on what was before me. I was looking at all the kids getting up and getting done before me, and, like, I just couldn't focus on the answers that I needed to write down. And I realized that that's just not the way that I need to learn, and a lot of other kids with ADD, I'm sure, say the same thing. I went to vocational school after
As did I.
a couple years in high school, and I did way better. Hands-on learning is way better for kids with ADD. And you also said that maybe Poundcake needs to take the pills now. Well, the pills that they give you,
You are a
is
zombie.
Adderall,
Yeah.
and it's just you can't give kids Adderall. Like, if you ask anyone who had to take Adderall,
It was Ritalin.
No,
well,
that's
it's-
Ritallin's
I mean,
under
pretty
12.
much the same thing.
Because I'm stupid.
Anyways, it's just like it turns you into a zombie if you have to take it like all the time, daily. You lose your social aspect. You don't make friends, and you're a zombie. and it's no way to solve the issue. I really think that the problem just lies in the education system and the way that they teach classes.
Oh yeah, everything works different for different people, and they just try to put everybody in the same course. And
Yeah, but
like,
what you're suggesting is to have 40 different courses for 40 different kids, and it's just that is 100% not sustainable.
Looking
I
back
didn't
on
say
it,
it's sustainable, but I'm saying there's other ways
How?
to learn. I'm just saying that.
How do you take
I don't know
I know,
how
but
to
I'm
fix
saying,
it,
how do
but
you
I'm
take
saying
a teacher who's already making $30,000 a year
I'm not-
and be like, now you have to learn 6 other ways to teach because there's different learning styles? Like,
I don't know, but I know that like the best way for me to learn is to listen to things. And so when I would listen to things, I could retain everything. If I read something, I have to read it 80 times before it ever sinks in.
yeah.
Hey,
And that's
Chris.
why if you're going to get in a fight with me, girls, vocally, not
Leave
over
a
text,
voicemail, not a
because
text.
I'm going to read your text and be like, I think she's mad, but I'm not going to read this again.
Chris.
Hey, Alan, what's up?
How are you, Chris?
Mega Dildos hate the show.
Mega dildos. Thank you, Chris. What's up?
I got to agree with Bill, man. When I was in high school, and I graduated back in '87, so I'm old, but I didn't give a shrimp about school. I was a CD student who never got less than a B on a test. And
where did your interest lie?
At the time, theater, and I made a career out of it until I got into my 30s. When I left the business, all the folks who were project managers in the scenic studio that I worked for had master's degrees. I was one of 2 guys who didn't.
Okay.
I had a GED.
Okay. So you kind of got priced out, as it were. Not literally, but I mean
No, not that. I got hurt and I couldn't do it anymore, so I had to.
I see.
Actually go to school, and when I went to school in my 40s, I carried a 4.0 because I cared.
Mm-hmm.
I had bad grades because I refused to do homework because I didn't need it. Well, I said I didn't need it. I lacked the maturity to say I need to do this to get this thing that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what's annoying, is that it seems very immature to do that.
Well, not only that, but
Well,
I'll tell you what, Mary.
immature. I
Yeah.
was like also a very late bloomer. Like I didn't really hit puberty till I was about 16 years old.
Thank you, Chris. I'm way late
no
here, but I think I would point anyone who is confused about young Bill Squire. Listen to the Squire Masonry songs, all right?
Okay.
The answers are all embedded in those songs. You don't have to run them backwards. You run them forwards. All the information is there. That's safe to say, yeah?
Yeah.
Squire Masonry is where you pointed your angst. Mm-hmm. What's the big song?
Pirate jargon.
Pirate jargon. Yes.
Not brick by brick?
It explains all of it. Pirate jargon.
Well, they weren't masonry centric songs.
Oh, I don't know.
No. They were pirate-centric songs.
Well, one was
Song.
a pirate, and then the rest were just regular, like teen angst.
But the answers were all there.
I'll have to listen.
Yes, please do. All right, I've got a break. Sure Shot to Live Rent-Free for a Year is coming up before we get out of here around 6:20. 3519